Good evening viewers. Karibuni tena kwa show yetu My Confession. Hapa ni place ukifungua roho, sema shida zako zote. I am sure hautatoka kama hujasaidika. Solutions kadha wa kadha tutazipata. I am Sarah Mashau na special guest Mr. Dennis Oweru. Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
Last week tumekuwa pamoja, tumejaribu kuongelea story ya Jose, amechukua responsibility za familia yake, ya baba na mama, mpaka I hope tulipata solutions kwa our viewers. So tell me, how was your week after there?
My week has been good. It has actually been quite a productive week. And there's a lot that we talked about that I think has elicited some few reactions.
Wow.
In there. But in addition to that, I think people are looking forward to seeing today's show and to watching what we have in store. Yes.
Well, tunasikia solutions zilikuwa bado zinaendelea kupatikana. Kuna wale wameendelea kutoa comments, suggestion. Tunashukuru sana. So today tunaenda kuongelea msichana fulani hapa mdogo sana mwenye ako na uzito kwa roho yake ambaye anaitwa Catherine. Kindly ningependa tuwatch hiyo video tusikize story yake venye anasema, tumsaidie hata yeye apate suluhisho.
My name is Catherine. I was sexually assaulted by my university boyfriend in December. He was drunk and forced himself to me. The following morning, aliact like nothing happened and nikaichukulia lightly because I thought it was driven by alcohol. Afterward, he kept on saying, pombe ni tamu. I laughed about it till February when I realized that I couldn't see my periods. I told him I was going to do the test, and I did the test early this year na nika find out that I'm pregnant. Na immediately nikamwambia. Now he blocked me and I don't have any other means to talk to him, and I don't know where he stays because alimaliza shule na he went back to where he came from. On the other side, I am starting my academic year and I'm hoping for the best. I've always wished to be at the university, and now that I'm accepted, I'm so depressed. I come from a very poor family, and my parents are suffering and ni wagonjwa. My studies were sponsored under very strict conditions, like not being pregnant and etc. a lot. I want to, I don't know. Hata kwenda hosi like inahitaji pesa and I don't have. Huko home tuna struggle. We rarely have a proper meal. We eat like maybe once a day, a breakfast or either supper. We eat once. And nilidhani nimepata mtu that will go through this journey together. The journey of love. Kwani he wanted to destroy me. My heart is broken. I lost the boyfriend. I lost love. I'm about to lose the sponsorship. I may lose my parents wakijua that I'm pregnant. And I will lose my studies. I know I'll get like a lot of questions like mbona siku open up kwa polisi. But yes, it was my boyfriend and I knew what he was doing. Nimerealize tu that alikuwa ananicheza and mi sikuwa naona hiyo time. What do I do? As I talk now, hatuna food home. I only ate in the morning and I get angry like more often. And hakuna kitu naweza fanya. I want to run away but I even don't know where to run to. I'm almost dying. I only pray and ask anyone would help me to know what to do. Nimejaribu kucommit suicide na imecross kwa my mind like a lot of times. But when I think of mamangu, babangu, na how much I want to see them happy. And when I also see my achievements in secondary school, I really get broken. Please help me.
Catherine ameongea, ametuambia kila kitu kwa roho yake, na imagine Mr. Dennis, ingekuwa mimi niko kwa hiyo situation, sijui ningefanyaje, sijui ningeiunderstand aje. Pia wewe umeifeel venye nimeifeel kweli?
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's very tough. Yes.
To be honest, Catherine needs a lot of help. Imagine wewe msichana in that situation, giving your all, giving your trust, your faith to this relationship. Then in the end, you get raped. This person anachukulia lightly, ni kama ni something normal. Wewe unabaki in pain, Catherine anabaki kwa pain, anainyamazia. Then inaendelea, anachekelewa, inakuwa ni kama ni comedy na life yake na kenye ilifanyika, like pombe ni tamu. Tukiendelea, anakuwa pregnant. Ujauzito imeingia. Imeingia after kupata pain ya rape, pain ya kuchekelewa na kuchongolewa, pombe ni tamu. Amepata mimba. Catherine, I believe, ana side hustle. I also believe huyu Catherine hana njia ingine ya kujisaidia. Akupigie simu wewe, baba mtoto, umblock. Umezima njia zote za Catherine kukupata. Then, unaexpect huyu Catherine ataface dunia aje? After kubelieve ako kwa the right relationship, anaenda to the best definition of marriage. Angalia nyuma, wazazi ni wagonjwa, wamelemewa. Huyu Catherine ako kwa scholarship. Scholarship yake inaenda kuisha. Just because of something yenye ili happen, akidhani ako na backup with the same person alishare love na yeye. Mr. Dennis.
Yes.
Nina maswali chungu nzima. Yananikwaza. So tell me, una-expect ama unafikiria Catherine, what is she going through? What is going through in her mind right now after the blockage, the pregnancy, the scholarship? What is she going through? What is happening in her mind?
Okay. First of all, I think to the person that told this story, I think it shows great courage to be able to come out with this story, to be able to narrate this story. to be able to sacrifice yourself for the sakes of other people out here. You know, I said last time that a problem shared is half solved. Therefore, this sharing of this particular story is a very, very good display of someone who is willing to be helped somewhere, you know, someone who believes that she can be helped somewhere, you know. It is a motivation to those that are in similar predicaments and may not know what to do. Okay. Therefore, to ask what may be going through Catherine's mind, there is quite a lot, you know. There is a sense of hopelessness. There is a sense of depression. There is a sense of disillusionment, you know. The things that Sarah used to believe, she no longer believes in them. See? And there is also a sadness and a fear of the unknown that is coming with everything that has happened. You know? There is heartbreak that I don't even think she'll have time to grieve it over what is going on. You know, she has lost a lot of things. She has lost do I call it her innocence? She has lost her innocence. She has lost her education. She has lost her family. She has lost a lot of things. Therefore, as you've said, there are a lot of things that have happened in this video. Yes.
Thank you. Before we continue, let's take a short break and we'll be back with more.
Je, wewe ni mfanyabiashara katika sekta ya elimu, afya bora, usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
Ever the best. Hallelujah.
To our show, My Confession. Catherine is the talk of the day today. Catherine and her challenges, her sufferings, and her big questions on how to survive this situation. Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
nikikumbuka there's a part umesema in my first question kwa nimeuliza that Catherine ame lose a lot. kindly ebu explain, labda kuna msichana pale ana feel it's normal, it's kawaida, it's kinda okay, but unasema ame lose a lot, so ebu outline hii ku lose a lot ni aje?
Okay. So first of all, Catherine loses her innocence, you know. As the story begins, we are told that she was sexually assaulted by the boyfriend. Okay. Therefore, there is some loss of innocence in that, you know. And this is me presuming from the choice of words that the narrators opted to choose. She loses her innocence. Number two, she loses her beliefs,
Okay.
you know, the things she used to believe in. If she used to believe in, you know, I don't know whether to call them happily ever afters. I don't know. But if she used to believe in the beautiful side of love and the romantic relationships, that has now been dimmed, you know. Also, you get that she's losing her youthfulness now. She's going to join another class of people called parents. You know, she is no longer Catherine, but someone's mother. You see? And that has actually, if it's not supported well, it has its own challenges, you know, bridging that gap from becoming Catherine to becoming Mama X. There are a lot of psychological issues that come across when it comes to that. Okay. Fourth, Catherine's future plans also changes. You know,
Okay.
she is a very articulate young girl. She is a very literate. You know, her literacy levels are quite high. If you look at the choice of words that she's using, and also from how she speaks, she looks like someone who had a vision. You know, she had somewhere that she had aspired to be and things that she had aspired to do, of which, in as much as she hasn't said them on the show, she looks like someone who had them. Okay. Also, you find that Catherine loses her chance at school.
Yeah.
You know, she says that she is in a scholarship program whose rules are rather stringent.
Yeah.
And if or when such things happen, people tend to lose their scholarships. You see? So that is her education that has been cut short. You know, the plans, the dreams, the aspirations that she had career-wise need to be put on hold for a bit. You see? So if she's losing, she's losing quite a lot. And you also find that, in some sense, she has also lost her peace of mind. You know, because one thing she had was a sense of security. I have someone I love. I have someone who will do many things and who will go far. This person technically ghosted her. You see, she had a stable education, I presume. You know, with the current predicament, the education also imeenda.
Umeisha.
You see, she also has she also has what? She also has a sense of. She also loses her peace of mind in the sense that she doesn't know how people will receive her. You know,
Yeah.
the situation at home.
Yeah, it's annoying.
When the parents come to learn, if they have it, what will happen? She's a student. The parents know that the girl is in university. I'm assuming again, and they know that the girl is studying.
That's another pressure.
Okay. So you find that when she is losing quite a lot. And the thing is, everything together, or everything when compiled, is affecting her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good. Kulingana with what I understand from you is that lose everything, ana lose in mind, ana regret. Sindio? Kwa nini yote ilifanyika? So, ndio to avoid such situation from other girls kama Catherine, when you wame put all their trust in their relationships. Nashika, ndio isiwahi happen. What advice can you give these boys outside here? Wenye wanaogopa kutake responsibility, sijui ni kurun away ama sijui they are not ready. So what advice can you give them to avoid wache kutesa hawa wasichana?
Okay. You see, it's not, I don't think it's an issue of what advice, but I think it's an issue of intent. Okay.
Okay.
If it was something that, rather someone intended, if it was something that fit into the plans and aspirations that this couple had, it's a bit different than people who are just in a relationship for fun. You see? Because to look at it, people are in relationships for various reasons.
Okay.
Unajua?
Okay.
Kuna wale wakuja to experiment. Yeah, mnaenda mna experiment. Alafu inatoa more products than you had intended. You see? There are people who have this notion of love.
Okay.
Oh, you are the bean in my
Githeri.
yes. You are the car in my highway.
Yeah,
they have that notion of love. Okay, so they're together because they have romanticized versions of each other. Okay, and the other version is, especially in campuses, relationships are a mode of survival. Let me shock you.
Really?
Yes.
Elaborate further.
I have help. Okay, that girl has help. And I come from somewhere, let's say in Western, and when I was going to school, my family gave me a sack of maize. Okay?
Yeah.
So, for us to survive, for us to ensure that we eat, if it is rent, we minimize on the spending of rent. Okay? Relationships in campus are a survival mechanism.
Okay. Okay.
That's why they are also in cycles. Pale help ikienda kutoka hivi, relationships zinanoga. Okay? Once, I think towards the last 2 weeks, towards the end of the semester, and there is nothing,
Kila mtu anapatwa.
Exactly. Ama unapata you have someone who looks for you strictly at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
or at 9. Wakati umetoka kupindua sufuria ya ugali tu hivi. Okay? So, either way, the point was, relationships are a survival mechanism in campus.
Wow.
Okay? So, you find that there are a lot of ways, or there are a lot of reasons why people get into relationships. Okay? Now, what happens is, I think it's good to discuss the options when such things happen. Because if such things happen, there are a lot of options out here.
Okay.
This is someone in university, practically an adult. Therefore, she has the right to decide what she has to do, but within the limitations and laws that we have in our country. Okay? So you find that it is good to discuss, that how things are, because you've come across something, you've found yourself in that situation. You're shocked, first of all. Yes. This is, I think, the time that you even pray to God. Haki Mungu.
Haingewahi fanyika.
No. That's the time, when you miss your period, that's the time you pray to God. Yeah.
Acha tu ikuje.
Yes.
Acha tu itoke.
The minute ikikuja, you even promise what you cannot deliver.
Yeah.
Yes. So you find that if that happens, first you're in shock. You never expected it. Okay. Therefore, you need to sit and talk and agree.
To sit and talk with the man, ama.
Yes.
Okay.
Who did you engage in?
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you need to at least have a conversation. Get to. Okay. Another thing I think I can discourage is deciding on the fly. Like this. That if you've told me now, you expect me to decide now. What happens? Okay. You're shocked. So if you come and tell me such a story, and you're the one who's shocked, what do I expect? I'll also be shocked because, again, this is not something we're looking for.
Yeah.
However, here I am making one assumption. I'm making an assumption that we were in an intentional relationship, that I was with you because I saw something long term, and I wanted to make something out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
But as I've said in the beginning, people date for reasons that you wouldn't even imagine. Okay. Relationships are transactional at best. See?
Yeah.
So you find that if it gets to a point, and it's sad, but it's true, if it gets to a point that people see they cannot get any benefit from you, or you have exceeded your use, they leave. Okay. And in as much as it's saddening, it's what happens. And we cannot really take too much into it. You cannot really start discouraging people because, yes, love is very beautiful. There are people who meet in campus and till death do them part. And so it's a very beautiful thing. And I guess also one bad story should not discourage the potentialities of other good stories. See?
So this means the guy should not block the lady, should not run away, but still stay there.
They should have a conversation.
Okay.
Yes.
Sawa sawa, asante sana. Pengine swali lingine ningetaka tusaidiane kidogo tu kabla tuende break kiasi. Swali ni hawa wazazi, because I believe wazazi wanachukulia mtoto akishafika college ama university anajiweza mwenyewe, not remembering that hu mtoto anaishi na yeye. So do these parents need to continue talking to their children, advising them, ndo at least hata akifika pale ana understand that hata kama ako na ile freedom still anafaa kujiangalia, apunguze shida nyingi. So should these parents continue advising their children whether they are in the university or colleges? So before you give us an answer, let us go to a very short break, then tukirudi Mr. Dennis will give us that answer. Karibuni tena sana. Show ni ile ile, bado tunaendelea. We are still discussing about Catherine and the challenges. Back to ile question inaniumiza roho. Hawa wazazi wako na big role ya kucheza hapa. I believe so. So huyu mzazi, these parents, both the mother, the father, ama mwenye amelea hawa watoto wakafika university, colleges, are they supposed to continue advising these children? Juu hizi mistakes unapata zingine, labda wazazi wameachilia, wamwona mtoto amegrow, hawezi endelea tena kuongeleshwa, anaweza jisimamia. Not knowing that mtoto kuna milestones ziko tofauti tofauti. So should they continue advising their children?
In the first place, I think they never even start.
So maybe that's where the challenge comes in.
I don't know, but to answer your question, they never even start, And because I don't know whether it's because, I don't know if it's because they view it as a taboo or they see them as children. There's this saying that to your parent, you're still a child, even if you have your family.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know whether they see them as children, or I don't know. Okay. Maybe parents, you will tell us in the comment section somewhere down below. So I don't know. Okay.
Ama maybe wamefeel walimu wanafaa ku-advise watoto.
That's another thing. But the thing is, I don't know. Okay. But now what happens is, you see, the minute you get into, you're done with high school. Okay? There's a lot of things children know that parents do not know they know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ukweli.
So what happens with campus is it gives a lot of freedom. You're an adult. Go figure out your issues. Okay. So what happens is, if you're an adult to go and figure out your issues, the things obviously you'll experiment.
Yeah.
So
Curiosity.
you find that I think there needs to be more advocacy for safe sex. I'm not a champion of abstinence, because again, we are talking about adults here, So we are good. I think there should be some advocacy for safe sex, with parents, because recently, actually, I was holding a session somewhere, and I happened to ask this question. If you were to come, and it was a question I was asked when I was in school, if you were to come across, say, a condom wrapper in your daughter's room when you're cleaning or doing something, and your daughter is somewhere in Form 3 or Form 4, what will you do as a parent?
Wow.
Okay. You've seen your reaction yourself.
Yeah, very tough one.
Because it is what happens. Okay. Therefore, you find that there is need for, these continuous education about these things. Let parents tell their children, not in warning per se, but inform. Don't just tell people, mimi hutaniletea watoto nizae. Nile.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't just tell people that. Tell them that this is the way you can avoid this and this and that.
Or they should stop threatening, but instead give advice.
Exactly. Do not inform. Seek to inform your children. Okay.
Yeah.
So that your child knows. Because once you are there, you had the same thoughts. You may be in different environments, but you had the same thoughts. You had the same feelings. But something somewhere prevented you from behaving in the same way. Okay. And this is to both children. This is to boys. This is to parents who have girls. Okay. You are in the same environment. People were in relationships in campus even 50 years ago.
Yeah.
60, 70 years ago. So long as they were at that age, they had relationships. See? So I think it is good to have to ensure that you inform these children,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
guide them. This is the time when they need you the most. Stop being their parent, start being their friend.
Aha.
Okay?
Okay.
You've parented them from zero to where they've reached now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now they're adults. They are now looking up to you, perhaps as a mentor or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Therefore, that is one. Two, you find that, again, don't give the parents too much blame, because parents actually go through a lot to make sure that we are here and that the children have reached where they've reached. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You people should also be aware, you know. Try and balance your hope with the knowledge you have. Try and balance what you hope for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all those beautiful things that you're looking up to. Try and balance, you see. And also, again, I think Waswahili walisema maji yakimwagika huwezi ukayazoleki.
Yazoleki.
So I think sometimes it's also good to seek counseling on the options you have if something has happened to you, you know.
Okay.
Yes, because at the end of the day, the world still keeps moving around. And as I've said before we got to go for break, do not let yesterday's accidents hinder tomorrow's adventures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you go to the highway or to the road that passes where you live, you're likely to see an accident sometime in your life. Okay, but hautaenda kwa hiyo barabara ukose gari.
Okay.
You know, people still travel. Okay, therefore, it's good to seek help. Let's not blame our parents so much. In as much as I advocate for parents to be mentors at this point and stop being parent, you know, to start talking with their children, to start having conversations with their children instead of telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Ni mengi tunaongea. Naona pia umeguzia solution kidogo. Ask for help, try and look for nini advices huku nje. So to other girls hapa nje wenye wako kwa situation kama ya Catherine, what are the best advices you can give them? Maybe ndio kama kwa relationship asifike to that stage yenye Catherine amefika, ama kama kwa relationship amefika kwa stage ya Catherine, what advices can you give them?
I think, first of all, I think it's not even to Catherine, it's to the Catherines out here,
Yeah.
the guys out here that have amazing people that are like Catherine, or the guys out here that have amazing people that are also called Catherine, you know, everyone. Okay? I think sometimes it's good to have these uncomfortable conversations.
Okay.
You know, sometimes it's good to, again, balance hope and knowledge. You know, it's good to know that in the event of something, what happens. You see, because ask yourself, say for example, this is you're a student,
Yeah.
right? This is also a student. Okay. Maybe ile pesa mingi anashika ni help. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So ask yourself, what happens next? Okay. Two, it's good to have these uncomfortable conversations. But it's not every time, you know, oh, nani play na nani.
Yeah, yeah.
Please tell me you'll never leave me. You know, it's not all the time talking about hope and hopeful things. You know, sometimes it's good to have these uncomfortable situations. You know, not asking him, "Will you love me if I was still a frog?" You know, doesn't make any sense. But it's good to have conversations about these kind of things. You know, discuss, get to know.
Example.
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 Example is in the event we got to have a son now, what will happen?
Okay.
From the way your partner answers that question, it will educate you, it will inform you.
Yeah, uko wapi hapa?
Exactly. On where to go next. Whether from now, let us
Go on
or
ama break kidogo.
not even break. You can even choose to start other options out here.
Okay.
You know? Because when it comes to contraception, there's a lot. And I think this information is offered for free. If you're a student in your university, there is a counseling office, there is a wellness office.
So just a by the way question. So are you telling me that those who are in relationship, it is advisable also to use contraceptives?
Yes.
Okay.
Condoms are a form of contraceptives, right? Good.
Okay.
So this information is there. If you're a student, it's in your wellness center, your counseling office in university, and that information is for free.
Now, these contraceptives, imeniwasha kidogo. Is it for those in colleges and universities alone? Ama mpaka pia huku kwa secondary and primary?
Those are children by
Secondary and
Kenyan
primary.
law. Yes, in
Okay.
Kenyan law, those are children.
Okay.
That's why you hear. I'm not really focused on them.
Okay.
Because there is what the law prescribes when it comes to them. Who takes care of them? Actually, that's defilement. If you're having relations with anyone below the age of 18, it doesn't matter where they are in life. That's defilement, and it can take you to prison.
Yeah.
Okay. But as I was saying, this information is given for free in your university.
Okay.
Yeah, take your partner. Actually, when I was in campus, there used to be these free HIV tests that used to be carried out. So I used to go for them.
Oh, you were not scared?
I used to attend them.
You were not scared?
I have nothing to hide.
Okay.
So what will happen was, one day, the practitioner asked, na umeacha wapi demu yako leo?
Wow.
Okay? Because there is a lot that you can learn from those processes. How to be safe, how to stay safe, how to enjoy the benefits of a relationship safely. Okay? Yes. So I think it's good to have these conversations. Also, it's good to balance hope and knowledge. Number 2, if such a thing has happened, make counseling your best friend, because there is a lot that has happened. If, say, you are assaulted, you need to process it. Okay, you need to report it first. See, because if there was no mutual agreement, if there was no, nowadays people call it consent, if there was no consent, then it's a crime in itself. Okay, so you ought to report it first. However, if you haven't, make counseling your best friend.
Now that point hapo kidogo about counseling, we all understand, we all know that these counselors they need payments, ndio? So kama hana hii pesa ya kulipa counselor, kuna other people who can act like counselors hapa nje. Ndio mtu labda asifikirie lazima aende tu kwa counselor huyo wa kumcancel.
I don't know what you meant by act. However, to answer that question, I've said, if you're a student in that university or institution that you're in, there is always a counseling office. There are wellness centers in that institution, first of all. Okay, they're normally free for students.
Okay.
That is first. Second, there are organizations and institutions like Younib that offer free psychological help. Okay. Therefore, as I've said, and there's a toll-free number for, I believe it's Red Cross, 1199. Because again, thank you for that question, because I've remembered there's a point where everything seems to overwhelm her. She looks like she's even contemplating suicide. Maybe she's even tried it. Okay. Therefore, in cases where maybe it's at night, such thoughts have come and you need someone to talk to, dial 1199. It's toll free. It's I think it belongs to Red Cross.
Perfect.
Therefore, there's a lot. Make counseling your friend.
Yeah.
Because I believe that's the point where you'll have someone who can hold your hand and walk with you in this journey. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. At least na feel hata kama ni mimi nilikuwa kwa hiyo situation, hiyo stress inaenda ikipungua, hiyo pain inaenda ikishuka. So to Catherine's outside there, tumeunderstand, tumesikia mengi. Tunaambiwa kwa relationship, let's talk. Tuelewane kwa hii relationship, tuko hapa kwa sababu gani. Na kama in case anything inaweza tokea, tujue tunaweza tatuaje. Pia tunaadvisiwa, in any situation, look for someone to talk to. Au watu wa kukuguide na kucancel. Usikufe peke yako. Then to the parents pale nje, remember, you are still a parent and a mentor to these children, no matter how old they become. Wawe na family, wawe na watoto, wawe wanafanya kazi, still you can still continue mentoring them. Maybe by doing this, hizi shida zinatokea wasichana wetu na wavulana wetu hazitapatikana tena. So, Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
tukiendelea kidogo, kindly saidia hawa watu hapa nje, kina Catherine na this men hapa nje, wa understand maisha inaweza songa vipi wakiwa wanasikizana na kusaidiana.
Okay. What happens is, you see, as I said, and I keep on saying this, a problem shared is half solved. Okay? Therefore, make sure that these conversations, they give you that sense of security. Therefore, these conversations help you know that you have someone that believes in you. You have someone that will stand by you. Okay? Regardless. And if you don't have, and if something happens, you always have options. You'll never feel stranded. Okay? Therefore, it's good to have these conversations, and I'm glad that you brought me here to have them.
Sawa sawa, karibu tena na tena na tena.
Asante.
I hope utachoka tukikuhitaji siku zote.
Kweli.
Viewers, I hope mmeenjoy, mmefurahia, roho zinaendelea kutulia. Catherine, I hope umetusikiza, umetufollow, umeunderstand. Thank you so much. Mr. Dennis,
Yes.
say goodbye to people.
Okay. It has been an honor to be here today, and I hope that everyone has learned something at the end of this broadcast. Therefore, I hope to be here whenever I'm needed, and in the event you'd want to find me, you can find me at Smart Life Wellness Center, and you can also find me on social media at Waweru_Dennis_, that's on X, and Caprice Weru in Instagram, and Waweru Dennis on LinkedIn. It has been a good show. Thank you for having me.
Most welcome. Don't fear to share anything. Namba ziko pale. Tuma anything. Share your story, your life experience, anything touching. Remember, we are confidential. Hakuna mtu yote ataelewa, hakuna mtu yote atajua ni nani tunaongelelea. So we are here to help you as you are there to give us your story in order to inspire somebody else outside there. Sarah Mashau, till next Tuesday.